This lawfare against Donald Trump that they have going on serves a lot of very devious, creepy purposes from the uniparty, right? The Republican establishment, the Democrat establishment, the fake news media, the deep state. They have many purposes to it. One of them is they want to take all of Donald Trump's money. And they have this idea in their mind that if they could take all of his cash, he won't be able to fund his campaign, because he is funding his own campaign to a certain extent. And, these rallies, he rents out these venues and such. Just at the rally this weekend, he says, don't pay the teleprompter guy, because the wind was blowing the teleprompters around, remember? And this idea that Donald Trump is broke because of this Letitia James judgment in these establishment circles is becoming like their reality. And last week, when Don Lemon interviewed Elon Musk in that disaster 30 seconds that he was doing his show for Twitter, Don Lemon asked Elon Musk if he loaned Donald Trump money. So they've got this fantasy in their mind. Say? He said no. They didn't even talk. They said hello to each other. But Don Lemon, when he said that, that tells you what they're thinking. He's broke. He's like homeless,
Don
and he's
Lemon.
and he's out. So this is the update, and this is in the Daily Mail, but it's being widely reported everywhere. Okay. Donald Trump's lawyers told a New York appellate court today that it's impossible for President Trump to post a bond covering the full $454 million civil fraud judgment during the appeal. President Trump's lawyers wrote in a court filing that obtaining an appeal bond in the full amount of the judgment is not possible. They revealed they have spoken to 30 underwriters to back the bond, which is due next week. Their efforts include countless hours of negotiating with one of the biggest insurance companies in the world.
So I'm assuming they've all said no.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of money. With interest, Trump owes $456.8 million, and all he and co-defendants, including his company and top executives, own $467.3 million. To obtain a bond, they would be required to post collateral worth $557 million, Trump's lawyers said. So that's over $500 million, right? Defendants' ongoing efforts have proven that a bond in the judgment's full amount is a practical impossibility. Okay. These efforts have included approaching about 30 companies through 4 separate brokers. New York Attorney General Letitia James, a Democrat, has said she will seize some of Trump's assets if he's unable
Trump
to pay the
Tower's
judgment.
going to be first.
She'll go and grab it. Yeah, she'll go and she'll go there and she'll take it.
But what does that mean? Okay, I don't know too much about this, so forgive me. But if you seize somebody's property, like if they owe money, okay, from a court judgment, you seize their property. What does that mean? Do they hold on to that for a certain amount of time, and if you can pay it, you get it back? Or do they immediately own it? They can sell it? Who owns it? The city? I know the city needs money desperately.
No one knows, okay? Because
they're not exactly.
No one knows for 2 reasons. Nothing like this has happened before.
No.
And these Democrats are making up the rules and the laws as they go, okay?
That's true.
So whatever a past president, that means nothing. What I think she'll do, Letitia James will go to seize Trump Tower, and if she can, she'll start selling off whatever assets she can, because she wants to humiliate Trump.
Yeah, well, they'll make a spectacle of this.
So that's what they'll do.
I could see them auctioning off things, furniture, and making a huge public spectacle of this, because
keep in mind,
right, they want to humiliate him.
Keep
they
in mind, Trump Tower,
this man.
Trump Tower is like the crowning jewel of his whole
That's the first
thing.
one they're going to go for.
And that's where his home is, and his personal. Yeah. They'll take his personal desk and his toilets and everything else. It said, okay, so Letitia James says she's going to seize Trump assets if he doesn't pay. This development comes days after Trump was able to post a $91.6 million bond in the E. Jean Lunatic Carol suit. The filing suggests that Trump's empire of real estate and golf properties leaves him insufficiently liquid to meet the massive judgments against him. Multiple bond companies have declined to accept hard assets such as real estate as collateral. And they will only accept cash or cash equivalents such as marketable securities. The firms would likely charge 18% up front, another staggering sum. In one Trump would not be able to get back even if he prevailed. Trump testified in the fraud case that he had $400 million in cash, but this is far and above that. A state appeals court judge ruled last month that Trump must post a bond covering the full amount to pause enforcement of the judgment.
Well, if he gives the $400 million in cash that he has, then he only has to come up with another $50 million, right?
No. There's interest. So he'd have to come up. There's interest, everything. Last week, Letitia James wrote in a filing that Trump tried to move the addresses of multiple assets from Trump Tower to Florida. Her office complained that Trump's lawyers announced for the first time that various entity defendants are now located at the golf club, and Florida goes on and on. Listen, in the short term, the chances are Trump could lose this unless some very rich friends and supporters and MAGA people start giving him some money. And let me tell you,
Mar-a-Lago.
Well, that's what I was going to tell you. When I went to Mar-a-Lago for that private event a couple weeks ago, there were people there that were as rich as Trump and richer.
This is when you find out who your friends really are.
And these people were. I'm talking about like Bill Gates rich type people.
Well, then they should all freaking help him
and
loan him the money or give him the money.
Yeah, and a few things about all that. They love him, like the people you see at the rallies. You can see it, and so it is possible that people like that will band together and come up with the money. But I want you guys to think about what President Trump is going through for us in this country. Here we have this senile old coot, Joe Biden, who is as corrupt can possibly be. His entire family are corrupt, junkie criminals who do nothing but take bribes through Joe Biden and make money. The most corrupt people, and they're in office for one reason and one reason only: to take bribes and steal as much money from the U.S. Treasury as possible for their friends and themselves. Here you have Donald Trump, who hasn't made any money being in office. In fact, he's lost hundreds of millions of dollars before all this lawfare. Lost hundreds of millions of dollars, if not billions, in deals and TV show and everything else. They don't even rerun The Apprentice, which would be a hit show. All this money he's lost.
Did you ever see the movie?
And now they're about to take all of his cash and his personal property away from him, and he's still running. Think about it.
I can't help but think that Trump, he's always 10 steps ahead of everybody. There's no way in hell he's going to let them take Trump Tower. And he won't be able to stop them if they come in. Well, I think he knows he has the money. I think he knows he has the money, and he has people that are going to help him. And I think he's just saying this as part of the appeals process to try to get it thrown out in a higher court. That this is, the Constitution talks about unreasonable fines. And I think he's maybe saying this to appeal that it's an unreasonable amount, because I think he can't get the money and has the money available. There's no way in hell he's going to let them take that. Did you ever see that movie with Roseanne Barr and Meryl Streep? It's a good movie.
Down and Out in Beverly Hills?
No. Can't remember the name
Beaches?
of it. No.
I don't know.
Roseanne Barr is
Roseanne Barr
housewife, and her husband is Ed Begley Jr., and he leaves her for a romance writer played by Meryl Streep, right?
Yeah.
So she sets out to destroy her husband's life, and she has a list to systematically destroy him and bring him to his knees, and she does it through different things, and she manipulates everything, and it's her sole focus in life in this movie is to destroy this man's life because he left her for another woman. This is what these liberals are like. It's like they have so much hatred for Trump. I really don't understand where the hatred comes from. There's people that are being paid to try to destroy him. But then there's people like Joe Scarborough, it's personal. Bill Maher, it's personal. Joy Reid, it's personal. They truly hate this man from the depths of their soul, and they want to destroy everything about him. They want to take away his money, destroy his family. But let me tell you, he is stronger than all of them put together. He is stronger than any of them have ever imagined. And I think he gets his strength from three places. First, from God. Like I said, I think he's very religious. His family and from us. And I think he draws strength from that, from those three things. And I think he's been in business long enough to realize that there's ups and downs, and he always manages to come back from everything. He's always managed comebacks. And I think he knows exactly what he's doing. So I'm really not worried. I think this is all part of the thing with the appellate system. And I think he has the money available. And if push comes to shove, boom, he's going to show up at the courthouse with a big fat check. There's no way he is going to let them seize his property. That is not going to happen. If he has as many rich friends as you said at Mar-a-Lago that you met, blue bloods and people that are doing billion-dollar deals and stuff, and they love this man, then I would hope that they truly were his friends and that they would say, look, I'm going to give you $100 million towards this. Don't even think about it. If I had the money, I'd give it to him. I'd say, you have it. You got it. Don't worry about it. But of course, I don't have that kind of money.
Well, see, he could have...
If he needs $100, I'll send him a check for that.
He could be organizing like a big fundraiser for this in private that we don't know about.
Yes.
I agree with you.
Yes.
President Trump's very smart. But I'll tell you that what's frightening about all of this, Fannie and Letitia and all this stuff, this is as corrupt gets. I mean, this is some hardcore corruption going on.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not that they're corrupt that's scary. It's that they're doing it in public. Usually public officials, when they're involved in corruption, because corruption's illegal, right? They don't do it publicly. They do it in private. And these people feel so invincible that they're doing these things out in the public.
Well, you know why they're able to do that? Because they all collectively are on the same team, and they all have the same purpose in mind. So they're all helping each other.
Yeah.
And Trump has talked about that. He said it's not that they all get together and decide these things. He said, but they all have the same goal in mind.
Yeah.
So they unwittingly, or sometimes unwittingly, or sometimes knowingly help each other along because they have a common enemy.
Yeah.
And he's that enemy to them. And it's like they'll help without even having to ask.
That's correct.
You know what I mean? Because it's understood. It's understood with these people. They all hate Trump. They want to destroy him. I really, really don't understand the hatred. And I read people's comments on social media. There are a lot of people, like with this bloodbath comment, which was so absurd. They know what he said and what he meant. But the things I was reading on Twitter, they totally forget what's really going on and push this fake story, fake narrative.
Yeah.
Because all they can think about is destroying Donald Trump.
That's right.
They can't see the forest for the trees. So when that happens, Brian and I watch a lot of competition shows like Survivor, Amazing Race, stuff like that. And we always talk about, the two of us, whenever there's a contestant that hones in on one person to destroy, they always end up losing because they lose their focus and their overall objective because they're so obsessed with one person. And that's how it is. You have these little, are so obsessed with Trump. They don't even see what they're doing. They can't step back and say, you know what? We are looking really bad right now.
Well, they're not looking
They're
bad.
not capable of seeing
They're
that.
not looking bad to their people. And,
well, they live in that bubble.
Or
they don't care.
And, Donald Trump is doing as well as he is, more popular than any president ever. Somebody messaged me today and said, how can you say he's more popular than Lincoln? Because when Lincoln was elected, the Democrats left the Union and started the Civil War. Half the country formed another country. So
they didn't put him on the ballot or anything.
So he's loved and supported more than Lincoln. But there are many reasons why. But part of it is this lawfare, this oppression. And when he was talking a few weeks ago about how black people relate to him over this, that because African Americans in this country, as a group, understand how the justice system was unfairly used against blacks for over 100 years in this country by Democrats, of course, and they see what's going on, and they don't like it. And
this is what's so crazy. Democrats have been telling us for decades how black people should get reparations and how they're treated unfairly. You have all these DAs letting black people out of jail that have committed crimes and all this stuff. And then when Donald Trump says it, he's a bigot.
Exactly.
But they can say it.
Yeah.
Joy Reid can go on TV and talk about it, how blacks are not treated fairly. They're jailed for no reason and this and that. But when Trump makes a comment, how they relate to him because of that, he's a racist.
But the problem,
these people are unbelievable.
The problem that we have right now is all the things that are happening, the Democrats are controlling the government. They control the federal government,
right.
At least a large part of it. And these court cases are happening in New York City, which is controlled by Democrats. Fulton County, obviously, is a corrupt gangster town, right? County, So you've got very hardcore corrupt Democrats openly doing this. And I'll tell you, history is not going to look on this fondly. If you go back in time like that, the Mississippi burning, that was a real story that happened, right? Democrats killed not just blacks, but they killed a Jew as well. It was 2 blacks and a Jew. They killed them, and they thought they were going to get away with it, and they had the whole system down there, and they got exposed, and they didn't. Okay?
Same with John Wilkes Booth. We've been watching Manhunt.
And all. So the way that people are going to look back on this, they're looking at it this way now. But these very corrupt Democrats they're making a martyr out of Donald Trump by doing this.
That's what happened to Lincoln. You and I are watching Manhunt, and you read the book, and it's very good. It's on Apple TV. And I remember when you read the book, you told me that Booth, he was a Confederate.
A Democrat.
He was a Democrat. And he thought by killing Lincoln, he'd be a hero, that he would go into the South and that, the war had just ended. You told me 5 days prior, which is crazy. And I said to you, I bet a lot of the freed slaves and black people were thought that they would, things would go back the way they were, and they were terrified. But Booth thought he'd be a hero, and he thought that by killing Lincoln, he would be embraced. And the exact opposite happened. The country was so upset over it. And it shows that just like the media, and like you said, he was out of touch with the way he'd be perceived. And that's, you're right, what's happening. People are, but it's not, doesn't have to wait for that to happen. That's happening now.
Well, part of it,
people are seeing it now in real time.
What has to happen?
Like you said, fact checkers, and what happened with Joe Scarborough is he tweeted this thing, and he got humiliated because Elon Musk called him out right away. And that's when it all started to go viral, this bloodbath thing. Joe Scarborough tweeted it, Trump wants a bloodbath, and then Elon Musk corrected him and encouraged others in his feed. He said, if you see anybody else misinterpreting what Trump said, put it in this feed.
Yeah.
And when I checked last time, there were 10,000 responses, or a lot. And that's So Joe Scarborough deleted his tweet, right? Because he was humiliated. And then he goes on TV Monday trying to act all tough. Like you know what I meant and all this stuff. And they're making asses out of themselves.
Well, what's got to happen, a lot of things have to happen. But in Trump's second term, we have to shut out the entire media. I'm talking about the mainstream media. The mainstream media is an arm of the Democrat Party and the deep state, okay? It is not,
sure.
We do not have a free media in this country, not the
anymore.
mainstream media. I was listening today, this really pissed me off. As someone I don't rarely listen to much, a couple times a year, I was listening to David Webb, who's a black conservative radio talk show host. He has a show on Sirius, and he's on Fox all the time, and he sounds like Froggy from our gang. You ever hear his voice? I'm David Webb. I'm David Webb, and we're here. Yes, we're here. I'm a conservative.
Couldn't stand Froggy.
And he sounds like Froggy.
Yeah.
And David Webb is a real jerk, okay? He's a Republican. He was at the Super Bowl party at Mar-a-Lago. And he has Carolyn Levitt on, who's Trump's press person. And he was so rude and nasty to her about how the campaign's being run, how she's involved in it, how Trump's running it. It was really nasty. And at first I couldn't figure out what David Webb was saying. why he was I mean, I understood what he was saying, but I mean, why he was acting this way. And then I realized, he's on Fox all the time.
Yeah, that's why.
And David Webb has a connection to the legacy mainstream media, and the legacy media are about to go the way of the dinosaurs, okay? They're extinct almost. They're barely hanging in there.
Nobody trusts them anymore at all.
Well, yeah. And, this bloodbath business that went on over the weekend, the mainstream media tried to create this narrative of this bloodbath commentary on the Sunday shows, and it fizzled. And this is amazing. This is the first time that the mainstream fake news media narrative was shut down so quickly. This bloodbath comment, what they usually do when they want to start a false narrative is they do it on the Sunday shows. And then everyone on Monday is talking about what happened on the Sunday shows. And what everyone was talking about this Monday is what fools the Sunday shows made out of themselves. Taking
even
this
Howard Kurtz,
out of context.
That liberal guy who does that media show on Fox. I didn't watch the show, but I heard a clip. He even said that they misinterpreted it completely and went overboard, way overboard. But they this is what I mean. They're so laser focused on Trump destroying him. I don't think they watch his speeches, and I think that Joe Scarborough tweeted that one thing, and they all went with it like a bunch of he was the Pied Piper that led him into the lake, and they all followed him without seeing the speech for themselves, and they jump without looking, and then they're like, oh crap, we effed up here again. I mean, they're just so stupid.
Yeah, no, they are. And the thing about all this business with the bloodbath, they started with the narrative on Sunday. They got shut down by Sunday afternoon, and they still today on Monday try to continue promoting this false narrative. So we've got to find a way to just shut down their media. Now, I was talking about this morning. This is an interesting election year. This is going to be the first presidential election in our lifetimes where there will not be a presidential debate. Trump and Biden will not debate. And I imagine...
Well, that's Biden's choice, right?
Yeah.
Because Trump wants to.
There'll be no debate, and there'll probably also be no vice presidential debate.
Has he said that, Biden?
They haven't officially said it, but they've implied it. There will not be a debate.
No.
The media, though, here's the thing about the media, because I know a lot of you listening to me will say, well, nobody watches that. I wish that were true.
That's not true.
Millions and tens, if you're listening to me, you're listening online, you're listening on an app, you're listening on a podcast app, you're listening on YouTube, if you're listening to this program right now. So you're an online media consumer. Right. Tens of millions of people get their news and information from television still. And we've got to deal with that reality. We can't just pretend it doesn't happen. But what happened this weekend, with this Joe Scarborough bloodbath thing that the whole media went with over the weekend.
Yeah, they all jumped on it like idiots.
This was not only was this the first time that on a dime we were able to shut down the beginning of an attempt to promote a false narrative by the mainstream media. But look at how it was done. It was done on Twitter, X.
By Elon Musk.
It was done it was done on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. Elon got involved, but it was done on Twitter. And, a lot of you still have not gone back to Twitter, and you're on Truth Social, okay? You can use Truth Social and Twitter, but this media narrative did not get turned around on Truth Social. Or Facebook. It got turned around on Twitter. And it was turned around by Elon Musk, but MAGA people, because everyone was responding and retweeting and liking, and they got shut down. In fact, Scarborough deleted his original tweet on Sunday.
Felt like such a fool.
He did double down on it.
Then he came
today.
On Monday on his show. Yeah. I'm sure he talked to Biden, desperately trying to restore his reputation.
Yeah, he was sorry he deleted it.
But he
media, deleted it.
The media, that's right, because he looked like a jerk, because he is a jerk. The media, like I said, they jump on something that they think, we got him. We got him. I mean, they every day it's a new thing, and they don't even think anymore before they do something. or try to now they're trying to backpedal it and act like, well, the rhetoric is still bad and we know what he really meant. They use that word all the time, bloodbath. I see that in headlines all the time. They use that word in the news. Everybody knows what it means. It just means it's going to be an annihilation, not an actual war or a fight. It means somebody's going to get destroyed. It's figurative speech. And he was talking about the auto industry. He not only did he talk about it before he said it, he continued to talk about it after he said that word. So when you take out one sentence like that, you are completely and knowingly taking it out of context. And that's what's so dangerous. That is why I always tell you guys, it is so important to see things firsthand for yourself. And if you are interested in politics, but you don't like Trump, you should still watch his rallies, especially now that he's the nominee.
Who doesn't like Trump?
Well, there are people, I know it's hard to believe, that don't, but you should still watch his rallies and listen to what he has to say. And then you'll see for yourself how the media manipulates and lies to you. And maybe that'll wake you up. I mean, that alone would piss me off right there. But, you can't talk to some of these people.
Well,
they're so convinced they just don't want to hear it.
We've got to be able to shut down the mainstream media's influence totally. And the only instrument that we can do that with is Twitter now, X, whatever you want. I heard somebody call it Twix over the weekend. I don't like Twix. X.
Ooh, Twix. I like Twix. They're good.
I call it Twitter X sometimes, but X.
Well, Twitter is not what it used to be. It's X now. It's different.
Yeah, but we shut this whole bloodbath thing down through Twitter. You've got to be on Twitter. I wish Trump would start using Twitter.
He needs to be.
This shows you the power of MAGA Twitter. And, we've become the Twitter mob in a good way. Like before if Elon Musk had not bought Twitter, this bloodbath thing would have taken off.
Well, it would not have been corrected as quickly.
Yeah.
It would have. This is how it usually happens, okay? Usually the media would come out with a false, and they know this. They'd come out with a false narrative, right? And push it and push it and push it really hard. And then by the time it got corrected, it's like those newspapers, they would print a retraction on the 8th page and the bottom and the middle is, you know what I mean? By the time it got corrected, it already spread like wildfire and gotten in people's minds. This was corrected in real time, in the moment, like seconds later. And that's Elon Musk. Boy, I wish he'd loaned Trump that money. Wouldn't that be something? That is Elon Musk. And another thing, like I said, he did is he said, if you find anybody misusing this quote by Trump, put it in this thread so other people can see. And Elon Musk is, obviously one of the top 5 most well-known people on the planet. Him, I'd say Jeff Bezos. Trump.
Putin.
Well, I don't mean leaders. Leaders are obviously most well-known, but
famous men.
But famous men, as far as like entrepreneurial types, I'd say Trump, Bezos, and Elon Musk are probably the top most well-known in the world. Everybody knows who they are. I mean, you know what I mean? Even in like third world countries, they know who these guys are. So for Elon Musk to come out right in real time, not days later when it's calmed down, not weeks later, after the narrative's gone around the bend a bunch of times, he did it so fast that Scarborough deleted his tweet that got this whole thing going. But the CBS, the morning shows went with it anyway because they obviously didn't watch Trump's speech, or they knowingly thought, the audience is stupid. We'll convince them.
If Elon Musk had not bought Twitter, what would have happened is this thing would just be starting the bloodbath. The liberals,
they would have gotten some mileage out of it.
The liberals, it would have been a disaster. The liberals that ran Twitter, they would have handled it like the laptop. Anyone who questioned that it wasn't true and corrected it and put it in context, you would have been banned from Twitter.
Right.
If those are the old people.
That's right.
So everyone who's MAGA,
or even talking about it on any platform, would have been in trouble.
The strongest tool we have to counter the mainstream media mob is Twitter. So you've got to get back on Twitter.
Plus, if you hear anybody in your life that repeats a falsehood like that, don't get angry. Don't get mad. Just say to them, look, I would really appreciate it if you would take the time to watch. Takes less than 5 minutes. That's what he said. Watch it in the context of what he said it. And you can find that on Elon Musk tweeted the whole 3 to 5 minute thing that he said about the auto industry. And play that for people or send it to them and say, and show them, but stay calm about it. Don't get upset and just say, I just want you to be educated and not ignorant and understand that you're being manipulated. And this is what was really said. And anybody with a brain in their head who's over the age of 8 would know what he meant. Okay. I mean, it was, in fact, when he said it, I didn't think to myself, oh boy, he's going to get in trouble for this one. Because sometimes that happens. Sometimes Trump will say something and I'll think to myself, oh, well, here we go. It didn't even occur to me because that's a very common expression that people use as an hyperbolic way to say something is going to, be destroyed in a way, annihilated. You don't mean literally. It's a figurative form of speech that everybody is quite familiar with.
I want to tell you guys the free shipping offer at mypillow.com with our promo code Kane, K-A-N-E, at checkout continues site-wide. No matter how large, no matter how small, no matter how light, no matter how heavy. Free shipping on everything at mypillow.com with our promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E. And there's a new set of specials that Mike Lindell just put up there today. It's called the $25 Extravaganza. There's a whole bunch of stuff up there that's $25, including the MyPillow pet beds,
I'll have to check that out myself.
Including the MyPillow 6-piece towel set, $25. The Giza pillows, which are the upscale MyPillow that have the Giza cotton cover on them, $25. And there's a whole bunch of others. So you don't have to, you get free shipping on everything, not just that, but there's an entire $25 extravaganza section right now at mypillow.com with our promo code Kane at checkout and free shipping site-wide, K-A-N-E at mypillow.com. I'm Brian, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. Don't go anywhere. We're going to take a quick break and be right back.
Are you tired of struggling to manage your blood sugar levels? Are you looking for a natural solution, one that truly works? Gluco-Ready is exactly what you've been searching for. Available at glucoready.com. Gluco-Ready is a revolutionary product formulated with a potent blend of 11 plant-based ingredients. It's backed by science and has been featured on WebMD, Yahoo, Forbes, and more. Gluco-Ready is your key to maintaining optimal blood sugar levels and supporting pancreatic health. Say goodbye to those nasty blood sugar spikes and hello to a healthier, happier you. Gluco-Ready isn't just another supplement. It's a game changer. Clinically tested in FDA-approved labs, it's proven to support healthy glucose levels and enhance your immune system naturally. Take control of your sugar and your weight and embrace a life filled with vitality and wellness. Whether you're pre-diabetic or already diagnosed with diabetes, Gluco-Ready is here to help. By enhancing insulin sensitivity, it addresses your blood sugar concerns effectively and naturally. Gluco-Ready is a true scientific breakthrough. It's purely natural, simply effective. You will no longer worry about sugar all the time. Instead of worrying about your weight, your sugar levels, and your metabolic disorders, your pancreas will actually do what it's supposed to do. Don't let diabetes hold you back. With Gluco-Ready by your side, you can lead the life you've always dreamed of. Visit glucoready.com today. That's R-E-D-I. And discover the power of Gluco-Ready. Take that first step towards a healthier tomorrow. Control your blood sugar naturally because your health matters. Glucoready.com. Cherish the memories of your loved ones with a resting place crafted with care and compassion with the Vermont Urn Company on Etsy.com. Everything at the Vermont Urn Company on Etsy.com is handcrafted by an artisan with over 35 years of experience in the casket and urn industry. They're family-owned and proudly local, ensuring your experience is both personal and meaningful. When you visit the Vermont Urn Company on Etsy, you'll find a wide range of urns that reflect your loved one's life and interest. From military and nature themes to birds, religious, nautical, public service, patriotic, and more. Each piece is handcrafted with care, customizable, and made right here in the United States. Use the promo code RADIO at checkout and save 10% off your purchase. Preserve the memories that matter most. Visit the shop right now on Etsy at etsy.com/shop/the Vermont Urn Co. That's etsy.com/shop/the Vermont Urn Co. The Vermont Urn Company, where every urn is a symbol of love, respect, and lasting memories. Etsy.com/shop/the Vermont Urn Co. Calling all anime fans. It's time to take your style to the next level with AnimeWonderland.store. AnimeWonderland.store is the ultimate destination for your top anime merch. They have it all. Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, One Piece, and more. You can show your Survey Corps pride with their Attack on Titan necklace, or rock that One Piece vibe with the AnimeWonderland.store Ace Edition necklace and bracelet set. Level up your Valorant cosplay game with their replicas that are perfect for capturing all the details and showing off your love for the game. Add some cuteness to your wrist with their adorable Hello Kitty bracelet. With affordable prices, a huge selection of products, and worldwide shipping, AnimeWonderland.store has everything you need to fuel your anime obsession. Go to the shop right now, view the inventory. You will be impressed. You'll also find great gifts for the anime lover in your life. Make sure to sign up for the email list and receive an instant 10% discount on your order. Go to AnimeWonderland.store and upgrade your anime collection right now. AnimeWonderland.store. Men, are you tired of looking tired? You can turn your tired eyes into a vibrant and refreshed look with a specially formulated under-eye cream for men at Amazon.com/shops/Meditati. That's MEDITATI. This anti-aging formula is designed to repair and protect your eyes against the common signs of aging. Dark circles, puffiness, and those pesky crow's feet gone. With Meditati, you'll say goodbye to those tired eyes and hello to a youthful appearance. It's packed with peptides, vitamin C, jojoba oil, green tea, CoQ10, and other essential ingredients. This formula will keep your under eyes bright and refreshed. It also keeps your skin hydrated with the highest quality natural and organic ingredients. It's crafted by skincare experts, and this non-greasy, lightweight formula absorbs quickly and efficiently, nourishing the skin around your eyes. So if you're tired of puffiness and wrinkles, go right now to Amazon.com/shops/Meditati. That's MEDITATI. Don't miss out on this chance to give your eyes the care they deserve, because you and your eyes deserve it. Amazon.com/shops/Meditati.
You are listening to The Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida. Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy. Follow Brian on social media at BrianCraigShow.com. And now, Brian and Kathy.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian, always joined by my wife and co-host, Kathy. So Obama was caught today on video entering and leaving the home of the UK Prime Minister, 10 Downing Street. And reporters were even asking Obama questions about Putin when he walked out. And, you know, what this is about, obviously, are the people behind the scenes that are really running the government are coming out of the closet now.
Yep.
It's not a big secret anymore that they're doing it. And it's not a coincidence that Barack was there the day after Putin won re-election. You know, Putin won 87% of the vote yesterday. Mm-hmm. Okay, he's been reelected. He's whatever your opinion is about Putin. I don't care about Putin. He can
when
run.
did things go bad with Russia? Didn't they help defeat the Nazis?
Yeah,
though.
Yeah, they did. But
didn't they work with England to defeat Hitler?
Since then, it's been all
the Cold War.
It's been all downhill with the our deep state.
I'm so sick of these men just sitting around playing with their army toys and just stirring crap up.
Yeah,
I mean, this is what we've been dealing with.
That's exactly right. And here's the thing about Putin in Russia. Okay, whatever you think of Putin doesn't matter. He's president again. It's a 6-year term. Right? So he is going to be president for at least the next 6 years, and probably for life, or as long as he wants to be.
Just like the guy in China.
And that's just the way it is. So you've got to deal with the reality. So why are we worried about the border of Ukraine when our border's been erased? I want to play this.
This is going to go on forever.
Laken Riley's father gave an interview. It's the first time I've heard anyone from his or from her family speak. And just let me play this. And this was on the Today Show.
Who was Laken to you?
She was like an angel.
This morning, Jason Riley speaking out for the first time. describing his 22-year-old daughter, Laken, as an avid marathon runner with dreams of one day becoming a nurse and working with children.
We were looking forward to seeing her graduate next year. She was so full of life. I just hate that, she was taken so early.
Police say Laken was murdered while jogging on the University of Georgia campus last month.
I wake up every day thinking, that I can call her. And I can't.
Police have charged 26-year-old Jose Antonio Ibarra with her murder. Ibarra, a Venezuelan citizen, entered the U.S. illegally in 2022, officials say, and despite an arrest in New York and a citation for shoplifting in Georgia, was never deported. Do you think a difference in immigration policy would have made a difference for Laken?
We have no idea if that would have changed anything, but he's here illegally, that he might not have been here had we had secure borders.
Okay. So I'll tell you what's...
I'm shocked they interviewed him.
What's fascinating
NBC.
About this interview, and the reason I played it, it's an important interview to hear from Laken Riley's dad, but this is from the Today Show. That's NBC. NBC airing this interview is really amazing because they didn't cover it up, and they even used illegal. They said he was here illegally. Yeah. And, the crime that's going on, that's being committed by the illegals, this terrible murder of Laken Riley. We had a story last week where 3 illegals sexually assaulted a woman in our own community right down the street from Mar-a-Lago, right? Yeah. We talked about that last week. I saw a story today, a Haitian that Biden brought here because of all this chaos.
Didn't Trump talk about some guy that worked for him that was killed by an illegal that was shot
in D.C.
not that long ago? Yeah.
A Haitian guy that Biden just brought here because of all the chaos there, just sexually assaulted a teenage disabled girl at a migrant shelter. There's this story I was talking about this morning where an illegal from Guatemala killed a cop and they let him out of jail. There's so much. We're going to ask yourself, the illegals that are coming here, what is the benefit to our country, to these people coming here? It seems like rape and murder. And rape and murder, those are like the 2 worst crimes.
There is no benefit.
Those are the 2 worst.
The only people benefiting off this are the politicians being paid to let it happen.
Yeah.
They're the only ones benefiting off of this.
The politicians at all levels, even local benefit, when they come to your school district, the local school board gets more money because they got to have the money for the kids and all this stuff. There's so much money being stolen from the government for these illegals, and there's nothing good coming from it.
Everything is so corrupt. When I was teaching, I'll say real quick, we got a bonus every year if we had a high FCAT scores.
Yeah.
Okay. The school would get rated, and if we got an A rating, and it was all based on FCATs, which is the Florida standard test. I don't know how it is. This is like 20 years ago. So we were told to teach the test. That's it. You had to teach the test so we could get that bonus. And it was like $2,000 each that we got. And that was, I thought, just very corrupt. I just thought, they don't even care that they're not teaching these kids, what they need to learn. They're just teaching them to pass the test, the FCAT test, so they can get their bonus.
Yeah.
And that's the truth. And that's how the teachers were. Yeah. That's on a local level. It's everywhere. Yeah. Money is the root of all evil.
Yeah. And, what's going on with it, there's no benefit to the illegals coming here. And when Trump was talking
for us
over the weekend at the rally in Ohio, which was a great speech, and he talked about how they're having record low crime in Latin America because they're sending all the criminals here. Mm-hmm. And I didn't even realize that. And he had the numbers. And today, Jean-Pierre in the White House press briefing said Biden wants to secure the border. He needs the Republican Congress to pass this.
Baloney.
They have all the power they need already.
That's a bunch of BS.
To secure the border. Trump had secured it, and they have gone out of the way to unsecure the border.
Yep.
And, when you're the president of the United States, your number one job is to protect the American people and
That's part of your oath that you take.
And when at the State of the Union last week, when Laken Riley's name came up, Joe Biden said, "Well, how many legal people are killing people? Like that makes it okay."
But see, that is what I told you. People justify things in their mind and they rationalize things. There's always a way. Even Ted Bundy rationalized what he was doing to himself. Well, they got in my car. I heard him say that. So, they were asking for it. I didn't force them into my car. That was his way of rationalizing his crime. He never forced one woman. Well, he would handcuff them, but he never physically forced them into his car. They willingly got in, and that was part of how he rationalized what he did in his mind was, well, they got in my car willingly, so they willingly asked for this. Anybody can rationalize anything, and that's what people do when they do something that's evil or bad, and they know it's bad. They have to be able to sleep at night and live with themselves. You got to live with yourself.
Yeah.
So in order to do that, you rationalize it. And this is Biden rationalizing these crimes. Well, people that live here commit these crimes all the time. How the hell is this any different? This is preventable. Obviously, there's crimes that happen in this country with people that are citizens. And like I said before, this isn't Minority Report. We can't prevent crimes from happening usually. We don't know ahead of time. But you are knowingly allowing criminals into the country. They just said on the news last week that Venezuela released 100 prisoners and they're coming here.
That's right.
That's knowingly allowing criminals into the country. And you're doing nothing about it. You are an accessory to those crimes as far as I'm concerned. We have a daughter and she lives in California. There's a lot of illegals there. And I pray for her safety every night. I cannot imagine what Lakin's parents are going through.
Oh, my goodness.
The frustration,
No way.
let alone having your child killed. I didn't know she was on a college campus.
Mm-hmm.
When you're jogging on a campus, I don't know how big that college campus is. You feel safe there. You feel safe because there's security, there's police walking around. And you just feel like you're in a safe place and you should feel safe.
Yeah.
And why the hell was this illegal on a college campus in the first place? He wasn't taking classes.
Good question.
He was looking for girls to go after. That's why he was there. Why the hell was he on this college campus? He wasn't a student that was there. No, why the hell was he there? He was on the hunt.
And, meanwhile, Peacock, which
Makes you
is the NBC streaming app, right? So NBC with Scarborough started this bloodbath thing. Then, they did interview Laken Riley's dad on NBC's The Today Show. But now this week on the NBC app Peacock, they have a documentary on Stormy Daniels they're airing. And
well, this is kind of like the carbon footprint.
Yeah,
it's like this is what I mean. Like they're absolving themselves of sin. Like they're hurting Trump and they're lying to the American people. So to offset that, they're going to show things. So we're airing Stormy Daniels to hurt Trump, but let's air this on Laken Riley so people still think we're good guys.
And the thing about Stormy Daniels, who believes that? I mean, I know this. Ben Shapiro, when that story he's a liberal, okay?
He believes it.
Ben Shapiro believed it. He said, of course he did. No. I mean, Donald Trump has been rich and famous his entire life. And as an adult, he became a lot richer and very, very famous. He didn't have to go after porn actors, sex workers, okay? And that story, she never gave any specifics. And I read an article about it a little while ago. I'm not going to watch it, but I read an article about it, and she said she was afraid of being murdered. And then she's talked about awful sex with Trump. I've never heard her give a specific. She may now, but through all this, she never gave a specific that would give proof that she had been with him.
I'm sure NBC helped craft an entire storyline for her.
Well, I don't believe any of it. I don't think anyone that has any sense believes it. First off, Trump is a germaphobe. Germaphobes don't have sex with sex workers. It's
Here's
dangerous.
the thing. Men that think Trump had sex with her obviously don't understand that Trump is the kind of guy who has had women throwing themselves at him his whole life.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to sleep with every woman. He doesn't have to prove anything. He could have had anybody he wanted. He doesn't have to be with some skank. He can control himself. I'm sure he didn't even look at her and think, oh man, I got to get a piece of that. I mean, she's gross. But ordinary men that don't get a lot of women might think, well, of course I'm going to be with some, if it's available, I'm going to do it. Trump doesn't have to prove anything to anybody. He's had women available to him all his adult life. Beautiful, beautiful women. So he can control himself if he had that urge, which I personally don't think he had that urge with her.
No.
He was married to Melania, who's beautiful. But even if, say, he did have that urge, which I don't think he did, I think he can control himself enough to be like, whatever. I mean, this girl's so beneath me. He's got standards. I'm sorry. I mean, I've seen the women he's dated. They're all beautiful. Marla Maples, she's okay. But he married her, but she got pregnant. But you know what I mean? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is a guy who isn't some desperate guy who's, going to just be with just anybody. Because he doesn't have to be with just anybody. He's never had to be with just anybody. He's always had the cream of the crop of women here. So why would he be with her? What would he get out of that? And her story, when I heard it, was so ridiculous, and it changed every time she told it. And you're right, it wasn't super specific. And I believe NBC is crafting a narrative for her. I mean, why are they doing this? Because it's an election year and they're trying to hurt him. So they are willingly putting together a documentary. This is very old news.
And by the way, years ago, she recounted the story a few years ago and said it wasn't true.
Because they figure, well, they don't just want to turn people against Trump. They also want to ensure that people stay against Trump.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, people are out there and being red-pilled every day, and they're realizing the media is lying to them. So they also have the need to keep people in Trump derangement syndrome and keep those lies going so they don't lose people. It's really disgraceful.
It is. It's disgusting. Now, I want to thank our Patreon supporters for their support of the program. And if you would like to become a Patreon supporter, there's a link in the description of this and every episode. Patreon supporters, there are perks, there are benefits, including you get access to a lot of exclusive posts and things that Kathy and I both individually post up that no one else sees, commercial-free editions of all of our podcast episodes. And our top Patreon supporters get a live on-air thank you shout-out on each and every podcast. So the names you will hear now are our top Patreon supporters. I want to thank Andrew and Connie, Christine, ETW, Chuck, D, Pamela, Rick, Nick, Wesley, Macho, Mike P, Carlos, Paulette, John, ActicFox, Heather, David, Maria in Texas, Richard, Alice, K-Mac, LeeZep, Shawna, Constance, and George. These are our top Patreon supporters. Thank you so much, guys. And again, if you'd like to become a Patreon supporter, there's a link in the description of this and every episode. You click that link. It'll walk you through on how to become a Patreon supporter. We're going to take our last break of this episode. Do not go anywhere. I'm Brian, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. Back after this.
From author J.M. Rock, the historian and economist featured on and hated by National Public Radio, comes the book Death by Socialism, available on Amazon. Picture 2030, a world without private property, self-ownership, or privacy. The World Economic Forum's vision may sound enticing, but in Death by Socialism, author J.M. Rock dismantles the illusions and reveals the true cost of leftism. Having infiltrated every corner of America, leftism has silently eroded the principles that built our nation. It's time to take a stand before it's too late. Our children's future depends on it. Decades after the fall of the Berlin Wall, socialism has resurfaced, threatening our very liberties. J.M. Rock's insightful perspectives have been featured on National Public Radio and challenges the narrative as well as exposes the risks that we are facing. Don't let the greatest threat to liberty define its terms. Order your copy of Death by Socialism, available on Amazon for just $17.76. Arm yourself with knowledge and safeguard our future. Death by Socialism from author J.M. Rock. Order now on Amazon and protect the ideals that make America great. Journey to the heart of Texas with Echoes of Grace from author Roxy Curry. In this deeply personal memoir, the author shares her story of faith, challenges, and the transformative path to healing. Roxy's journey leads to unexpected places, but through it all, God's grace shines like a bright light, providing direction and comfort. Echoes of Grace is a testament that even when our choices deviate from the planned path, grace is a constant presence. In Echoes of Grace, the author unveils vulnerabilities and strength, and also celebrates self-discovery. It's about accepting imperfections, finding strength within, and embracing every aspect of who she is, the good, the tough, and everything in between. Echoes of Grace illuminates the incredible power of faith and God's enduring grace. Echoes of Grace from author Roxy Curry is available on Amazon in Kindle, paperback, hardcover, and Kindle Unlimited. Echoes of Grace from author Roxy Curry. Order your copy right now on Amazon. The new book from author Roxy Curry is now available on Amazon. Should I Stay or Should I Go? Your faith-based guide to overcoming narcissistic relationships. Guided by her unwavering light of faith and personal wisdom, the author's goal for this book is to help you navigate the confusion and pain caused by covert narcissists, especially within the context of Christian values. Author Roxy Curry draws from her personal struggles, offering hard-earned insights that empower readers to make pivotal choices between enduring the storm or seeking a new beginning. In Should I Stay or Should I Go? Perseverance, faith, and actionable advice converge to guide you through the challenges of a narcissistic relationship. In this must-read book, you'll learn how to identify the imperceptible chains that narcissists craft through manipulation and their force of personality, as well as how these bonds can be shattered by the hammers of prayer, self-reflection, and empowered courage. Author Roxy Curry's first book, Echoes of Grace, was her memoir that chronicled her personal struggles and successes. At its heart lies a complex relationship with Victor, testing her beliefs and resilience. Through her unwavering faith, she emerged with a renewed sense of self and a profound understanding of God's grace. Should I Stay or Should I Go? Your faith-based guide to overcoming narcissistic relationships from author Roxy Curry is available on Amazon in Kindle, paperback, and hardcover. Order your copy right now and reclaim your faith, your courage, and your self-worth.
You are listening to The Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida. Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy. Follow Brian on social media at briancraigshow.com. And now, Brian and Kathy.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian, always joined by my wife and co-host, Kathy. Now, this is important to everyone, not just to those of us in Florida. In Florida, Biden is gearing up to start shipping Haitians to Florida. And all this chaos you see in Haiti, it's always like that in Haiti. Haiti has been in anarchy since the 80s. It's always been this way, okay? What's going on there might be a little more intense than it was a month or two ago, but it's always like this, okay? And here in Florida, we do have a large Haitian population, and the Haitians that live here are great people. They tend to be conservative. They're very nice people.
They're very hardworking,
and everything else. The Haitians that are still in Haiti, though, are not the Haitians that we have here in Florida already. The Haitians that are in Florida, unless they're really, really old, have spent their entire life living in an anarchy. It's hard to believe that there's an anarchy in this hemisphere, but there is, and it's called Haiti, and it's been that way since the 80s. So the people that are left, that are in Haiti today, are not civilized people, okay? The guy that, I don't know if he's prime minister today, was the prime minister 2 days ago, Barbecue. He's a cannibal, okay? The guy that's been running Haiti during this uprising, they call him Barbecue because he barbecues and eats people. He's a cannibal.
Come on.
I'm serious.
That still happens.
Yeah, Barbecue. That's his name. And
oh my God.
So last week,
just like Jeffrey Dahmer,
an Army general was testifying at a congressional committee. I think Gates was there, and they're talking about they're getting the Navy ready, and they also do this with cruise ships to bring Haitians to America. They're going to bring them to Florida. The reason they're going to bring them to Florida
Wonderful.
Is because they want to turn Florida blue. Florida is a red state.
Yeah.
Remember in the last election, Miami went Republican for the first time in a long time. And they want to flood Florida.
They're going to flood
Haitians.
Miami. They're going to flood Miami.
They want to try to turn Florida blue.
Yeah.
And they're going to bring as many Haitians from Haiti as they possibly can. And here's the thing, okay? The Haitians that are living in Haiti today, having spent their whole life living in an anarchy, are not law-abiding people. You can't take someone who's lived, and you're talking about tens of thousands of people. They want to do what the Haitians to Florida, what is going on at the southern border with Texas. And they'll have flights and everything else into Miami. There's a big Air Force base in Miami, Homestead Air Force Base. They'll fly them there as well, like they're flying illegals from Latin America into this country. They're going to flood our great state of Florida with tens of thousands of people that have lived their entire life in a medieval anarchy, which is going to cause a massive crime wave. I don't understand why the Democrats think, and I'm not talking about the government people, I'm talking about like rank and file Democrats, voters like us, but they're Democrats, not Republican. How can Democrats live with themselves when Joe Biden and the Democrat Party keep bringing killers to our country?
Well, a lot of
them loose in our cities.
This is as I said before, this will be the main issue of the election. And I think this has turned a lot of people red. I mean, look what's happening in Chicago. I'm telling you, I think Chicago's going to go red. They are pissed. They're having people coming to city council meetings very angry because they're having to lose their city centers and their places where their kids hang out, and everything's being overrun by migrants, and they're it's kind of like during the Revolutionary War when they were forcing people to take in soldiers.
Yeah.
Remember? And then they put an amendment. They put an amendment against that.
Yeah, the Quartering
Act.
Act.
You can't do that. The Quartering Act. And it's like kind of they're not forcing you to bring illegals into your home, but that might come.
But they're in your community.
Kidding.
They're in your community
they've
center.
actually mentioned that people should bring them into their home.
Kathy, they have. They kicked the veterans out of those homes and put illegals in there.
But that's what I'm saying. They're doing it with businesses, hotels. They're doing it with, the government is like taking over certain things to house these people. They're taking over schools. And I'm telling you, if Biden wins, they're going to start taking over your home, and they're going to start forcing people in a nice way. And the way they'll do it is we'll pay you to do it. If you bring people into your home, we'll give you $1,000 a month.
Yeah.
They'll do it that way, the almighty dollar. Well, everybody, but it's not, but the taxpayer has to pay for it. That's what's going to come. They're going to give you a stipend like they do with foster kids.
They're already doing that in some of these liberal states. Remember, there was that lady that brought the illegals into her house,
right.
and they were taking care of her.
So she's getting money for that.
Last week, when we had that story of the Venezuelan gang members that raped a woman in our local community near Mar-a-Lago, our sheriff said that the most violent gangs in the world are Venezuelan, are in Miami right now. And, Miami, I know
my sister lives in Miami.
I know a lot of you guys have seen Scarface and Miami Vice. That was like 40 years ago, okay? Miami has been a very safe, great place. It did go through a lot of crime back in the 80s when they had all that, the drugs. And
after Miami Vice, it really got cleaned up.
They cleaned up the city.
Yeah.
And now what's happened? Biden has brought they've been transporting these illegal Venezuelan criminals here, crimes up.
Well, that's what's happening in New York. And Giuliani cleaned it up, and now it's a dump again.
And here's the thing. I wanted to, I was thinking about taking my Vespa, the MAGA scooter. I wanted to ride it down the beach all the way to Miami Beach and back from our house, because there's a nice road. It's A1A, and it goes down the whole length of the ocean. And you could take it through the whole state of Florida. It's really a cool road to do. And I'm not going to do it now because it's dangerous. It's not safe because of the Venezuelan gangs. If I go down there on my Vespa, I could get jacked. Okay, it's not safe. They're telling people don't go to Miami. Kathy and I, a week and a half ago, were in Miami. We saw a police chase. We've never seen that before on I-95. It was crazy. And now Biden's getting ready to bring shiploads, literally tens of thousands of Haitians from this barbaric anarchy that is a country that's being governed by a cannibal named Barbecue. I'm not kidding. They may have overthrown him in the last 5 minutes.
Well, look,
but he was there. And we're supposed to just suck that up. Why?
Here's the problem. They used to bring in people for asylum, and I have no problem with helping people. Americans are generous people, and bringing people in from these countries that are war-torn. They did it with Syria. Remember, there was that big war in Syria, and we brought in people. That's what America's all about. But that's not what they're doing now. They're like bringing in criminals. They're emptying jails.
Purposely.
So you have to ask yourself, why? What is the game plan here? This is frightening. What is the game plan? I'll tell you the game plan: to destroy this country. And they're being paid to do it. They're allowing this to happen. What they're doing in the cities right now, San Francisco, LA, New York, now Miami, it's going to become national eventually. If Biden stays in office, they're going to start doing that on a national scale. And you're going to start seeing this affecting you in the suburbs. Right now, it's in the city, so it's a city problem. But I'm telling you, if you live in Chicago or New York, you have got to vote. I couldn't believe when Eric Adams ran how little, there was 8% of the people voted. That is a disgrace. That's a disgrace. And a lot of the people think, well, there's no point in me voting because my vote won't count. You have to stop thinking that way. And stop thinking, well, New York is blue, so I'm not going to waste my time.
Exactly.
Please stop thinking like that. Trump really needs to start doing rallies in these blue cities. And I tell you, if he did a rally in Madison Square Gardens and he filled that place, people would look around and be like, holy Moses, I did not realize there were this many MAGA people living here. And it would energize them to vote. But they're like in hiding, and they're afraid, just like in California. I think California could go red and New York, but the people don't vote. They figure it's a waste of time.
That's right.
You have to stop thinking that way.
Things are different now.
They have to really round up those people and let them know you're not alone.
Yeah.
There's a lot more of you than you realize, and we can win,
Yeah. There is no reason to be bringing criminals into our society. Now, listen, guys, if you're new to the program, welcome. Make sure that you follow and subscribe on whatever platform you are on. If you don't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Brian Craig Show on YouTube. I live stream every day of the week, and I take live calls when I live stream on YouTube. Make sure you check that out, Brian Craig Show on YouTube. I'm Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. We are out of time, but we will talk to you next time.